Today I'm going to show you how to clean my Pentair filter system for my swimming pool, and it's a lot easier. I've had a diatomaceous earth one before, a DE filter before, and it was a lot harder and a lot messier with the DE. This filter is got cartridge filters in it, and it's very easy. I have this one tool, and it's very simple. It's just a ratcheting wrench, boxed in on one end and opened in on the other, but this ratchets. It's a 22 millimeter, and it works right here on this nut and then on this one on the bottom. I'll show you. First thing I do is I work on this nut so I get it open, and then I can do it by hand. And then a lot of water is going to start coming out. See, that's all filthy right there from everything it's been cleaning. I just use that water to clean that out. Put this right here. Part number one. Also, I go ahead, I probably should have done this first. Take the lid off of there. So now the water's draining down through there as opposed to out here. Use the same wrench, and I start on this. A lot of people will just use a drill with a socket on this, which is quicker, but I just like having to use one tool at a time. Really long threads on this, so it takes a while to get it off. So it's got the bolt, long threads, a washer, a spring, and then another washer. So 4 parts. Then the band that's on there, the nice thing about this wrench is I just put it right here, give it a little twist, and that pops that off. Do the same thing right there. It's in 3 pieces. So the back part, watch your feet, especially if you're barefooted. And that band falls off. Remember, this is fiberglass. Fiberglass, it's always important to make sure you wear long sleeves whenever you're dealing with this, or you can end up with fibers in your forearms that you can't get out forever. So make sure you do that. I'm gonna take that off. And then this part up here, there's a spring right here on top. Take that spring off, set it to the side. And then there's this plastic part. All of these things have names, but nobody knows what they are. It's the part that holds the 4-cylinder filters on. And then there's this one part on the top that you do have to replace from time to time. And you can see it gets pretty filthy, and it's a screen, but I'll wash that here in a second too. Now here's what gets dirty, is it's each one of these filters. So you can see how dirty that is right now. I just line them up over here. After I finish with that, I come over and I wash out the inside of the tub. Usually not too dirty. Okay, and then make sure that's clean, and that goes back on the bottom. Put the wrench back on there. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put the top back on this. Always tighten mine up. And the filters, they're much cleaner than they were before. One thing I always try to do, I don't know if it's important or not, but I always flip them over. 6 years old. And they say that you can replace them when these bands break. So some of our bands have already broken, but I'll wait until they're all completely broken before I'll replace them, because it's pretty expensive. Now this compares to a diatomaceous earth or a DE filtration system because it looks the same on the outside, but on the inside it's very different. DE system has these baffles that, in our experience, we actually had to replace a lot more often because all it takes is something getting in there to mess them up. The other thing about a DE system is that whenever you wash it and you clean it out, it's a very muddy mess. With this, there's nothing left over there. This part goes on first. It's a little screen. The water comes up through there, or goes into there. And so that's the part that's important to be clean. I do this once every 4 months. So with every season. And so I set a timer or a reminder on my phone to remind me at the change of every season to do it. You'll notice there is a rubber ring, O-ring, big one that goes all the way around there, and you're supposed to make sure you put the stuff on. This is the hard part right here, especially with one person. But basically, you're going to pick up this, put it around, and then this is the hard part, is taking that threaded part, get it knocked off. There we go. Just take this barrel ring, put it around there, and then you match it up into there, and then you hold it, and then you take all these 4 pieces and you slide them on, and you get this nut on here, and you start running it on there. Yeah, back to the DE thing. I know I keep talking bad about that, but when we had a DE filter, I had a pool company come out and show me how to do it, and then I thought, my idea at least was, I'll have them show me how to do it, and it costs like $100 for them to show me. And then I thought, well, I'll do it myself after that. So I tried it a few times after that, but I decided that it was easier just to pay them for the longest time. So I feel like I'm saving a tremendous amount of money by doing this myself. And it really is easy once you get the system figured out. The other thing about DE is that you have to recharge it, which means, I don't know if you know what diatomaceous earth is, or DE, but it's just fine, very, very fine sand. And you buy it by a box. Of course, that's expensive. And then whenever you recharge it, you basically put it into one of the skimmer baskets, and you have to put cups and cups and cups of that stuff in, and then it all fills up and loads itself up onto those cells that you saw inside there. And once that's done, then it's all charged up. With this, we didn't have to do any of that. This is so much easier. Everything else about it, though, like the whole components of the outer shell, are extremely similar. This, you notice the squeaking, it sounds really scary, but basically you're just waiting until, this is what I've been told by pool professionals, is that once this spring gets to the point where there's no gaps in there, then you're at the right spot. Of course, you don't want to crack it, but this is the point that you get to. Okay, that's all done. Now, I just turn the thing back on. Okay, pump just came on. So we're watching the pressure gauge right here, and we're checking for leaks. You notice the pot is going to start filling up with water. Okay, that's filled up with water. We're watching the pressure gauge here. What you can do is, on ours at least, is you can adjust this so that if you know that's where you start at, then you know that's where it cleans. You see it just drop down. And then now water's coming, no more bubbles in there. We're back to about 12. And then so we'll clean it if it reaches 22, but we'll do that every 4 months anyway. And that's all there is to it. It's just that simple.